federal judge to order the immediate release of Melly because of serious and outrageous violations of his constitutional rights. As you know, Melly Jamel has been in custody since February of 2019. So Jamel, also known as Melly, has been in jail since February 2019. And during the last several years, the Broward detention facilities have seriously interfered in his sacred Sixth Amendment right to counsel under the U.S. Constitution. They've done it by, in some cases, completely prohibiting his lawyers from visiting him. In other cases, inordinate delays. In other cases, harassing his attorneys. And in other cases, providing space where his privileged attorney-client communications could be eavesdropped on and listened into by jail staff in violation of the Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And in other cases, giving him a room where his conversations with his lawyers could not only be overheard, but where there is not enough space for him to meet with all of his excellent legal team. I went to visit him and spoke with him myself on several occasions, and on no occasion was I permitted to be in a room where I could show him documents and have the type of private discussion I've had with my clients over the past 30 years. I went to visit Melly several times. In my several visits with Melly, I was not allowed to sit down with him the same as I've sat down with all of my clients over 30 years. I was not allowed to show him documents. I was not allowed to have a private conversation. I was put behind the glass where I had to yell for him to hear me. I couldn't even show and hand him documents and go over documents important to his case. I'm sitting there with him behind the glass. I have to yell to hear him. I am behind the glass as his lawyer, and I've got to scream and yell for Melly to hear me, and Melly has to put his face to the glass and scream and yell to talk to his own lawyer. During my visit, it was outrageous. Melly had to put his face to the glass. I had to put my face to the glass, and we had to yell in order to communicate with total separation where we could not even go over documents. Imagine those conditions being imposed on Melly and his lawyers in a capital homicide case where he's going to trial with his life on the line. I would not tolerate those type of conditions on a traffic ticket case. I would not allow those type of constitutional deprivations in a traffic ticket case or a DUI. It is reprehensible and disgraceful that those type of restrictions on his communications with his lawyers under the Sixth Amendment have been imposed and are being imposed, impeding his legal representation in a homicide case where he's facing life. Those type of impediments and obstructions to communicating with his lawyers in a homicide case, where he's facing such severe penalties, it's disgraceful and it's outrageous. But at worst is the following. The state is attempting to achieve through almost a form of psychological torture and isolation what they have not been able to achieve since 2019 through the court system, where at the last trial they were not able to convict him. The jury did not convict him, and a mistrial was declared. And the state prosecutor was removed by the judge, and now they're trying to delay the case till September, the end of 2025, for someone who's been in custody since 2019. I've never heard of any inmate in any federal or state system anywhere in the country who's been deprived of his ability to have phone contact with his mother and his brother, and has not had a single jail visit from his mother and his brother
for years.
For many, many years. The state system is trying to achieve. The state system is trying to achieve with isolation and a form of mental deprivation and psychological torture through this isolation. They're trying to achieve through mental pressure, psychological torture, and extreme isolation. They're trying to break him down and get a result that they cannot get in the court system because they tried him and he got a mistrial. So here's what happened is, they went to trial, they could not convict him. They went in front of a jury and were not able to convict him. The judge declared a mistrial. Then the prosecutor got removed from the case after allegations of withholding evidence. So now what happens? There's interference in his right to counsel, and they are trying to wear him down mentally by not letting him even talk or visit his mother or his brother. We have filed what's called a writ of habeas corpus, which is centuries old, and it is the mechanism where state inmates can go in front of a federal judge to enforce their constitutional rights. So we have filed a petition of habeas corpus, which for centuries has been the mechanism that wrongfully detained state inmates can use to get in front of a federal judge to protect their constitutional rights. At this point, his mom and his brother are not going to answer any questions about the case or the legal proceedings. So the mom and the brother are obviously, they will not take any questions and cannot take any questions about the legal proceedings in the case. But the mom and the brother, since they haven't communicated with him in years, mom and the brother would like to send a message to him. Send a message. So, Mom, would you like to send a message to your son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamil, if you watch this today, I just want you to know I love you. I'm going to continue fighting from you. And I just want to know that you're okay. I just want to hear your voice and see your face. And I'm going to get you home. I love you.
When was the last time you spoke with him? Can you tell us that?
The last time I heard my son's voice on the phone was in 2022.
How was he?
He was okay. He was sad, but he was okay. And now I don't know. I haven't heard his voice. I don't know what's going on. Anybody's allowed phone calls.
And what's it like as a mom to not be in communication with your son?
It's heartbreaking. Some days I don't know if he's alive in there. I don't know if something's happened to him in there. I have no communication whatsoever.
Are you allowed to write letters or receive letters?
He's not allowed letters, he's allowed postcards, and they're always delayed because sometimes when he responds, it's something I wrote him weeks and weeks ago. So
No discuss the details of it.
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So yeah.
When you do attempt to reach out, what are you met with?
I'm sorry?
When you attempt to reach out, what's the answer? What do you get as far as not being able to see your son?
I can't answer that.
It's just a prohibition. And Brandon, if you just want to send a message to your brother, you could do that now.
Brandon's your last name King also?
Yeah. Just to tell your brother that you're thinking about him.
Hey, my dog, I love you for life. I miss you very much. And we are working endless nights and endless days to get you home and at least just get your phone calls back, bro. I haven't heard your voice since last Thanksgiving, bro, and I miss you very much. Yeah.
What have the last couple of years been like for you and your mom?
Like falling and never like dropping, like never hitting the ground, just always falling. Like you never know what's gonna happen. Like every day it's just like you never know what's gonna happen. So yeah.
Brandon, how old are you?
17.
And how old's your other brother?
25? Yeah, 25.
So at this point where we are is the case, I've never seen a case, as you know, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've handled every type of case at every level, here, federal court, state court, around the country. people charged with all sorts of different things. I've handled a lot of cases where people were charged with homicides and other serious offenses. People were charged with, being, trying to do all sorts of things, espionage cases. But even with espionage cases, and people alleged to have committed, serious homicides, I've never seen the restrictions on the right to counsel. I've had a lot of murder cases, a lot of espionage cases, as you know, some high-profile cases, a lot of high-profile cases. I've never had a case where an inmate had these type of restrictions interfering with his right to counsel and his right to have legal representation. And I've never had a case where anybody, no matter what they were charged with, espionage, murder, no matter what, gang members, listen, espionage, gang members, drug transactions, Cali cartel members. I've never had anybody had these type of restrictions imposed where they couldn't see their own mother and their own brother for years at a time. And what that does is, clearly there's been some hostility. Clearly they're not happy about the fact that they cannot convict him because he's innocent. So clearly they're not happy about the fact that they cannot get a conviction in this case because he's innocent. But more important than that, you just don't get to impose these type of restrictions on people. You can't do whatever you want to do. And fortunately, in this country, we've got a U.S. Constitution and we've got a United States District Court. So when state officials don't do the right thing, you can go to federal court, and that's why this exists. So I'm going to be handling the litigation regarding the pretrial detention and the constitutional rights, and I'm hopeful that the federal court system will act quickly. The next step would probably be, typically the federal judge would issue what's called a show cause order. So if you want to know what's going to happen next, so I'll tell you what's going to happen next. In case a petition for habeas corpus is where you go in front of a federal judge and ask the federal judge to order the state officials to come in front of the federal judge and explain why you're not violating his constitutional rights and why he's not being unlawfully detained. So a petition for habeas corpus is a petition asking a federal judge to order the state prison officials to come in front of the federal court and explain themselves. So the next step would be that the judge would review the petition, and we just had a judge assign this morning. If the judge feels that the petition states a cause of action, the judge will then enter an order to show cause, ordering the Broward sheriff and the jail officials to come for a hearing in federal court where the judge will consider our petition for an immediate release. So
good morning, world. I want to take this opportunity to react to Y.W. Melly and his family filing this bogus-ass lawsuit about inhumane conditions inside the jail. Listen, people, Young Thug just went through the same conditions. Did you hear him complain one time? And Melly talking about jail conditions. The conditions that he's going through in the state of Florida are regular shit. That's jail. Okay, I've been to jail numerous times, and I've been to prison 3 times. In prison, you don't even get to use the phone until, like, your room number comes up. Like, if you're 210, you got to wait till that number come up to use the phone. So it may go weeks and weeks before you talk to your people. And visitations, when you first get there, you got to send off a form, and it take 8 weeks for it to come back. So imagine that. So see, people don't know the real. Everything that they complain about is regular shit when you're doing time. That goes to show you he pussy, his mama is a stupid ass bitch, and the little brother is a little slow ass jit. They don't know nothing about the law, and she's sitting up there like she all wholesome and a whole dick junkie. Fuck Jamie, fuck that little boy, fuck Melly, fuck that lawyer, fuck all them motherfuckers. We ain't spoke to Chris since October 26, 2018. So, on that note, Chris ain't down there in the jail. I would love for them to be treating him bad so I could go down there and visit him, shit, or something like that. And then, oh, you haven't been speaking to Melly. Well, you should get that whoever that witness tampering dude was who was calling Cortland, they should have been calling your long mouth ass, dumbass bitch. Fuck Melly. That nigga straight pussy complaining about a jail, man. Nigga soft as fuck, man. And this your boy Spoon, man. Them niggas pussy. And that shit ain't nothing but throwing shit at the wind, at the wall, see what's gonna stick, man. My lawyer used to do all that shit too. I guarantee you, nothing you could do in that fucking jail that's gonna affect your fucking criminal case. Dumbass, long mouth, retarded ass. That whole family's slow. Slow as a bitch. And you can ask anybody in any River County, they know I ain't lying. That slow ass hoe, they call her slow hoe. She was hang with another bitch and we call them, look at them slow hoes. Man, come on, man. That bitch know I know her whole background. And she ain't no gangster at all. Pussy ass bitch.